everybody? Welcome to the Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. I am one of your hosts, Memo, and right beside me, I've got Hoops. How you doing?
What's going on, man? Overall, I've been doing pretty okay, just getting through work, life, and so forth. How's everything going for you?
Same here. Just work, school. I'm getting work done. I'm less overwhelmed than I was last week, so that's good. And yeah, just gotta get some homework done this weekend. You know what's interesting? This upcoming Tuesday, I'm going on a field trip. We're going whale
Mm,
watching.
okay.
Me and my fellow master's students are going whale watching with our professor. So it beats, being in class. So I'll take
Oh,
it
a lot better.
a lot better. So yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for that.
Now, I'm well. Would you like to mention where the whale watching is? Like,
Uh, I believe it's Newport Beach. Newport
oh,
Beach.
okay, not bad.
Yeah,
I was almost thinking like maybe Dana Point or like somewhere in Anaheim.
they
Well, I
would.
mean, I'm not familiar with Anaheim, but
Yeah, there's no oceans by Anaheim, but
yeah.
they would not do anything like South OC. Like,
Oh yeah, too much driving for them.
yeah, I'm the one that always has to suffer. It seems like I'm the one that has to drive like
Yeah.
far distance for all the classes and
Hey,
placements and field trips.
for once, you don't need to go that far. That's good.
Yeah, I looked it up. Apparently you could like look ahead on the Maps app, uh, to see like the relative time it will take to get to your destination at a certain day, at a certain time, and it says it's gonna take
Yeah.
me like 40 to 45 minutes, which is
Uh,
longer than I expected.
probably because they're expecting rush hour traffic.
Yeah, morning
Because
traffic.
like, if there was no traffic, you probably get there like no more than like 15-20 minutes, maybe more like 20, but
I'd
or
say
25.
30 probably. I don't know. I feel like 20 to 45 is a huge jump.
Yeah, I would say like probably like 25, 30. It really depends,
Yeah,
but yeah, it is quite a huge difference though.
yeah, it's California traffic for you, of course.
Yeah. Anyways, glad to hear you got something at least somewhat fun to deal with next week as opposed to sitting in a boring lecture.
Yeah. All right. I guess we could get started. We are coming back with the W and L list. We're gonna be talking about the winners and losers from this past week, and of course, before we do that, we're gonna go through the NBA standings. Is it your turn to do the West Coast, or my turn?
I think it might be your turn to do it. I think I did it last time.
Okay,
So you can do it. Yeah.
all right, I'll do that then. So starting at number 15, we've got the Pelicans with a 12-37 record, Kings at 14 with a 12-37 record as well, Jazz at 13 with a 15-33 record, Mavs at 12 with a 19-29 record, Grizzlies at 11 with an 18-27 record, Clippers at 10 with a 22-24 record, Trailblazers at 9 with a 23-25 record, Warriors at 8 with a 27-22 record, Suns at 7 with a 29-19 record, Lakers at 6 with a 28-18 record, Timberwolves at 5 with a 30-19 record, Rockets at 4 with a 29-17 record, Nuggets at 3 with a 32-16 record, Spurs at 2 with a 32-15 record, and at number 1 is the Oklahoma City Thunder with a 38-11 record. So that is the standings for the Western Conference.
And
Eastern.
now for the Eastern Conference. At number 15, we got the Pacers at 12 and 36. Number 14, we got the Wizards at 12 and 34. 13 Nets also at 12 and 34. 12 Bucks, 18 and 28. 11 Hornets, 21 and 28. 10 Bulls, 23 and 25. 9 Hawks, 24 and 26. 8 Magic, 24 and 22. 7 Heat, 26 and 23. 6 Sixers 26 and 21, 5 Cavs 29 and 20, 4 Raptors 29 and 20, 3 Celtics 29 and 18, 2 Knicks 29 and 18, and at number 1 in the Eastern Conference, the Detroit Pistons 34 and 12. So those are the Eastern Conference standings.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the W list, and we're actually gonna start off on a more serious note. I made sure to add this to the the W list. Hoops, if you want to join in, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine as well. But I do think it is important to acknowledge what's been going on in the country. So I feel like to start things off with the W list, I put all the players that spoke up and help support what's going on in Minnesota at the moment. As we all know, another U.S. citizen has been murdered by ICE. Alex Preddy is his name. And yeah, a horrible situation where basically a gang of unskilled, unqualified losers ended up killing a man who was defending a woman at that point. Like the ICE agents were like trying to grab a woman that he kind of Alex pushed them away, and then they jumped him and murdered him for basically no reason. Like he didn't commit any crime, and if he did commit a crime, ICE is not the jury, the judge, or the executioner. We have due process for a reason. So yeah, what's going on in ICE and throughout the country with not just Minnesota. It's been hitting Minnesota hard for sure, but throughout the country, ICE is running. I'm trying to find nice words to say. I'm not trying to get us all canceled here, but they're running like a gang. I guess I don't know what's a nicer way to put it, but they're not following any laws. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're doing whatever they want and getting away with murder. So seeing Tyrese Halliburton, kind of start this like avalanche of players supporting what's going on in Minnesota, supporting the protesters, supporting everybody that's trying to fight for justice and fight for our rights was really cool to see. It was really cool to see Karl Anthony Towns join in, former Minnesota Timberwolf, did his part in, acknowledging what's going on there. Wemby, I thought, had some wise words to say. Yabusele. There's been a lot of NBA players, WNBA players chimed in as well. And I believe today, versus OKC, the Minnesota Timberwolves all wore like matching T-shirts in support of what's going on in Minnesota. So I want to shout out the players and from both the NBA, the WNBA, and shout out the protesters as well for fighting a good fight in the name of people like Alex Preddy or I believe her name was Renee Good, right? ICE are murdering U.S. citizens. They are kidnapping children. They're causing a lot of harm to the country, to a lot of people that consider this country their home. So, yeah, fuck ICE now and forever. And shout out to Minnesota. Again, Hoops, you don't have to say anything if you don't want to, but is there anything you want to add, or should we just jump into some of the lighter topics?
Honestly, I'll just keep it sweet and short, just saying 1,000% agree that seeing the players' support for this total BS incident that happened was definitely something that we are all glad to see the players support, because like clearly what was done was absolutely wrong, shouldn't have happened, and ICE just continues to make really dumb, inconsiderate moves, to put it lightly. Because, like, quite honestly, that's an understatement. Um, yeah, I am glad that the players from both WNBA and NBA are supporting for sure. Um, Unfortunately, due to the reality is just that probably this type of stuff isn't necessarily going to end because ICE agents just seem to be a total nuisance about what they're doing. Like, I just don't get like the way they have to deal with this situation because like there are gonna be like illegal immigrants, but like your way of capturing them, you don't need to like be that take it to that extent. Nonetheless, to end the person's life like that is even like, come on now. Anyways, don't want to get too deep into it, but my main thoughts is I'm glad that the players were supporting the situation.
All right, I guess we could transition now into a lighter topic. Sorry for starting so heavy, but it is something that I am
Yeah,
definitely passionate about. But
definitely, definitely something that needed to be addressed for
of
sure.
course,
I will say.
yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, Hoops, do you want to start off with the first team we're going to talk about, which is the New York Knicks, who I guess the last time we did the WNL list, we were talking about, the NBA Cup curse and how it's plaguing the Knicks, but they're kind of making a comeback.
Yeah, and that they are. So the Knicks have been on a roll this last week. Currently on a four-game win streak. Wins over the Nets, Sixers, Kings, and Raptors. Easily the most impressive game during the streak was against the Raptors. The Raptors were leading the entire game up until the middle of the third, until suddenly the Knicks went on a super impressive 24 5-4 run to finish the third and going into the fourth quarter. In the process of doing so, the Knicks led by 12 at the end of the three, and then they went up by as much as 27 in the fourth, ultimately winning that game handily, 119-92. And now the Knicks are of a 29-18 record and have climbed back up to the second seed. Well, technically tied with the Celtics, but they own the tiebreaker at the moment, which is good. Hopefully stays that way and maintain the second seed. I would like. Um, but yeah, shout out to the Knicks. They have been playing a lot better this past week, and hopefully they can keep it up.
Yeah, you know, want the worst for the Celtics, so Knicks' success is Lakers' success in a way. So,
Definitely.
uh, definitely happy to see them, bounce back a bit. I was expecting big things before the season. They ended up winning an NBA Cup, but I was kind of thinking they'd be championship contenders. I'm still not there. They bounced back a little bit, but I don't think any team in the East really are contenders. Uh,
I agree.
so yeah, I am glad that they bounced back a bit. Um, I forgot who I was watching, but they were saying that I'm looking at the notes right now, and how the Knicks beat the Raptors, and they I forgot who I was watching, but they were saying how the Knicks and Raptors were uh, going against each other to see who will get Giannis in the by the trade deadline, because we know that those are a couple of his preferred destinations. So he was like joking that the Knicks won the battle, they're gonna get Giannis. So that just came up in my mind right now looking at the notes. But yeah, shout out to the Knicks for what, a 4-game win streak. Okay, let's see if they extend it. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we shall see indeed. Um, but so far, looking a lot better. And so I think that would be a good segue to the next team, another Eastern Conference team. And on that topic, another Eastern Conference team that we had high aspirations for in the offseason and also been disappointing a bit, though they have been playing a lot better lately. And that is the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are currently on a 5-game win streak, wins over the Hornets, Kings, Magic twice, home and away, and against the Lakers. And by winning 5 games straight, they are now 29-20, and they have moved up to I think the fourth or fifth seed. I forgot, but they definitely moved up in the ladder, and they dominated the Magic both times they played, won by 14 and 16 respectively, and then they just flat out embarrassed the Lakers by 30 without Darius Garland and without Evan Mobley in what was possibly LeBron's last game ever played in Cleveland. Um, but yeah, pretty impressive. They've been looking these last 5 games, and Darius Garland was out during the entire win streak, though he is likely to return soon. So that is good news for sure. And so we shall see if the Cavs can keep pushing. Um, I would say that I will root for their success as well, because as mentioned earlier, any team that diminishes the Celtics' chances of winning is good. So yeah, shout out to the Cavs. Hopefully they keep pushing.
Yeah. I know this is a little off topic, but do you think this is going to be LeBron's last season?
Ooh, that's actually a very tricky question
Because like I
because like
thought it was kind of interesting how they had uh, like a tribute video for LeBron that game. Do they always
yeah.
do that when he returns?
Well, I know that last year they gave him a tribute video, but it was also like last year they were trying to do like a late congrats on 40,000, which he got the
Ah,
previous year. So maybe it's just a Cavs thing that they'll tribute him every time because of how much he means to the city of Cleveland. But it does definitely, yeah, to answer your question, it's just so hard to answer because, like, for one, I wouldn't be shocked if it is his last season. I mean, for crying out loud, he's 41 years old. But I also feel like the chances of LeBron walking away from the game without announcing it to go on like a farewell tour just seems a little bit far fetched.
I
Like,
agree.
obviously, we've seen players do that. Like Tim Duncan, he announced his retirement out of nowhere after his last season.
Yeah, that's a very
Like
Tim
no one,
Duncan thing to do. But
I
with
know, no one knew that was gonna be. No one knew that was gonna be his last year. I feel like LeBron wouldn't do that.
no,
I mean, by all means, he could like shock everyone, but I feel like he won't. Honestly, I feel like maybe next year will be his last year. But
I
then that means, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I agree. I think it'll probably be next year, and he'll announce that he'll retire for sure. Like he wants the praise, he wants the attention. It's he's kind of egotistical in that way, so he's
Yeah,
gonna want what Kobe had,
yeah,
a proper
and
farewell tour.
yeah, and I feel like players of their caliber, they should have a proper farewell tour. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I for definitely hope that he doesn't pull a Tim Duncan, and I'm sure he won't, honestly. So I would say one more year, though. I think, isn't he gonna be a free agent though? So there's a chance maybe it might not even be with the Lakers.
yeah. I didn't put this in the notes, but uh, it was news like maybe last week or something about there's like rumors about LeBron not being a Laker next year. Uh, there's rumors about him wanting to join the Cavs for one more season before he
I did
retires.
hear about that
There
one.
was also rumors about I guess like the Lakers, like, what are they called? The higher ups, for the lack of better words, like the genie buses of the world and stuff like that.
Oh,
Didn't feel like LeBron was very appreciative and does
oh
not.
yeah, I heard about that one. Did you also hear that one apparently Genie or someone said that LeBron was almost traded to the Clippers in 2022?
I did not hear that. For what? And doesn't he have a
I
no
don't
trade clause? How
know.
how would that be possible?
That
Or
that's what I'm saying. Like they didn't go into details what they we could have got in return or what. Like I don't get it. How could that have been the case?
yeah, I
Um
don't know.
yeah. That
Uh,
would have been like very upsetting if they traded him to the Clippers, imagine.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
I am a Lakers fan before I am a LeBron fan. So I wouldn't mind him leaving if that, you know, clear some cap space, and we could hopefully surround Luka with defenders and 3-point shooters and like a real center. Uh,
Yeah,
because DeAndre Ayton's not really working out, which is what I thought was gonna happen. But
I know, bro.
I fell for the
Unfortunately,
honeymoon phase. I really fell
bro,
for it.
I did too. We both thought that he proved us wrong, and unfortunately now he's proving you especially right because man. And look, my take on DeAndre Ayton was I knew that he was like very shaky, inconsistent. I was hopeful, and the hopefulness looked good in the beginning, but once he got hurt, hasn't been good. But yeah, safe to say, Lakers center position, man, has been a major problem.
Yeah, the Lakers need a lot of help.
I know,
So
definitely. Um, but yeah, I guess swaying back to the list, I would say we covered the Cavs good here.
yeah,
End result is they've been playing a lot better this last week, and we shall see if they can keep it going. If so, they look more like the team we expected in the offseason. Um, I think maybe now we can move on to the next team on the W list, which is maybe a little bit of a shocking one, the Hawks. Um, they have now a 24-26 record. They were on a 4-game win streak before Wednesday, which was wins over the Grizzlies, Suns, Pacers, and Celtics, um, and beating a few bad teams and a few good teams. Obviously, Suns are pretty solid, and Celtics pretty good too. Best part about it, they destroyed the Celtics on the road. Definitely very happy to see that. Um, but yeah, after trading Trey, a lot of people, rightfully so, didn't expect the Hawks to do much, and somehow they're just shockingly winning games lately. Um, their win streak did end tonight against the Rockets at home, unfortunately, but even then, like, they have been playing pretty good lately, and I believe they're the 7th seed, so that means if it was a day, they would be at the top of the play-in, meaning multiple opportunities to get in, even if they lost the first game. So yeah, shout out to the Hawks for holding their ground despite not really having much to work with.
yeah. Shout out. Not gonna lie, didn't really watch any Hawks games this past week, so I don't really have much to say.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's always funny how they're like always around 500, 24 26.
yeah,
They're
I know.
close. They're so
It
close.
is. Yeah. Hawks, I feel like are always like a very confusing team because like they always lose against trash teams, but then they somehow play good against good teams.
And it's
It
not
makes
like
no sense.
an issue that's only this season. I feel like
Yeah.
previous seasons was the same
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, look at last season. I remember in like November, December, we were literally talking about how the Hawks lost against the they lost against the Wizards twice, but they also beat the Cavs and the Celtics twice, which must have remind you last year those were the number 1 and 2 seeds in the Eastern Conference. It just doesn't make any sense, but like I guess that's part of the Hawks identity. They like to confuse people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I think that would be practically all for the Hawks. Next team on the W list, perhaps another shocker. And that's the Charlotte Hornets, who have been shockingly red hot lately. 5-game win streak. Wins over the Magic, Wizards, Sixers, Grizzlies, and the Mavs. And they had some dominant wins too. Destroyed the Magic on by 27 on the road in Orlando. Demolished the Sixers by 37. Without Embiid and Paul George playing, but still very impressive. And they also destroyed the Grizzlies by 15 on the road. In the process, the Hornets now move up their record to 21-28, and they have also moved up to the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. So they are inching closer to play-in territory now. And if they keep it up, honestly, they just so might be there. So yeah, Hornets have been looking impressive lately.
They really have been. They had such an amazing win today against the Mavs, which we'll talk about a little bit more soon. But like,
Yep.
it's a team that's like not that good, but still like fun to watch too. Like they have Lamelo
Yeah.
Ball, obviously, who's very entertaining. But Kon Knueppel, dude, he's
Oh, he's
insane.
really good.
He's really
Yeah.
good. Like, yeah, we'll talk more about him soon. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's all the teams that you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Though I will say something very quick that I did realize regarding Hornets and also Kon Knueppel. One thing that I barely realized, if that Dalton Connect trade last year for Mark Williams did not get like canceled, maybe Kon Knueppel wouldn't be on the Hornets, low key. Obviously, that depends on how Dalton performs, because we got to remember at that time, Dalton was looking like very good, and after that trade, he started looking trash. If he could have maintained like that level of play on the Hornets, maybe Kon Knueppel is on the Jazz right now. Who knows? And man, would that change a lot of stuff. But yeah, safe to say, Lakers thought that the Knicks trade would be more in the long run help for themselves, but looks like it's more been a blessing for the Hornets because they were able to get Khan. So yeah, just a little side note I barely realized.
Yeah, it's like the butterfly effect, right? Like one small
Yeah.
change could mess up everything. So yeah, it's interesting to think about. I used to watch videos on YouTube where like, what would happen if like if the Chris Paul trade to the Lakers didn't get vetoed, and like
Oh
it
yeah.
went over all these crazy scenarios. How like Pau Gasol is like a Hornet or something. It's like just a bunch of weird like rabbit hole stuff that could maybe possibly would have happened if it went down and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. All
I
right.
actually I actually still somewhat watch some of those like what if videos,
Yeah, what if videos are
And
cool? Some topics are
it
also
is.
sad though.
I know. Um, it's also very interesting to like think about. It's like if this trade did not happen, or let's say if this trade happened instead, then like that affects so many other players on like where they sign, where they land, where they get drafted, all that. And so then this team might actually be very good, while that team might be very trash, and then maybe this championship gets wiped, or maybe this championship that team wins it instead. So it's just like so many hypotheticals, makes you wondering like what could have happened. They're definitely very interesting. But yeah, as you mentioned, some could be also very sad when you realize like the ceiling wasn't reached, for example.
Yeah. Um,
Yep.
okay, moving on. That was all the teams. So now we're gonna talk about some like miscellaneous winners, starting with Derrick Rose, because this past week, his jersey got retired for the Chicago Bulls. Of course, this was announced, I believe, last year. Yeah, for sure, last year. Uh,
Yeah.
and you know, his jersey got retired. It was a very emotional night for Derrick Rose. He is like, although he comes across very nonchalant, he is a very emotional and passionate guy. So, uh, yeah, the ceremony was very emotional. I liked how several of his past teammates was there. Tom Thibodeau was there. His family, of course, was there. His kids were crying. It was very sweet. And, the cherry on top, not only did the Bulls win the game, but Kevin Herter hit a game-winning three and did the classic Derrick Rose celebration, just a
Oh
nonchalant
yeah.
look to the camera.
Just the
The like just absolute yeah, like looking like a badass. So like it was a very sweet and cool touch from Kevin Herter. Like that was a cool tribute that he somehow was able to pull off after hitting uh, game winner. So shout out to Kevin Herter and shout out to Derrick Rose, of course. Youngest MVP in NBA history, multiple time All Star. Um, Although injuries, kind of cut his career short, he still had a pretty good career. So shout out to Rose. Definitely deserved to get his jersey retired. This was the first jersey retirement for the Bulls since Scottie Pippen in like the 2000s. Like,
That's crazy.
because the Bulls were asked for so long after
Yeah.
MJ and that era ended. It was Derrick Rose that revitalized that city and that organization for a good chunk of time. Obviously, we all wish it was longer, but yeah, still, Derrick Rose definitely made an impact, so that's why his jersey got retired, and obviously very well deserved.
Yep, definitely very well deserved. As we all know, Derrick Rose has been, without a doubt, one of the key icons for Chicago and the Bulls, obviously behind Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, and so forth. Um, Literally, Derrick Rose is one of Chicago's own, Chicago born, and yeah, youngest MVP, as you mentioned. Obviously, sad knowing that he couldn't necessarily do as much after all those injuries. We were just talking about like what if scenarios. Derrick Rose is a huge what if he never
One of
got
the
those
biggest for
major,
sure.
yeah, if he never got that major like injuries, who knows what he can become. I mean, like he was still a solid player, but he was more like a bench warmer by then. And unfortunately, he lost all of his explosiveness because got to be more careful with the legs by then. But yeah, shout out to Derrick Rose for a very well earned jersey retirement. Shout out to the Bulls for winning that game. And shout out to Kevin Herter for not only hitting that shot and doing the tribute celebration to honor D Rose. Um, Best part about this game, they beat the Celtics in a rivalry game.
You love to see it.
Yes, sir. You absolutely love to see it. Yeah. And the Bulls were playing pretty good up until that point. They are now on a 2-game losing streak, but they were on like a 4 or 5 game win streak. And that game got them above 500 at that point. So, like, it was like all highs in Chicago up until that point. So, yeah, D Rose in Chicago was clearly worthy of being on the W list.
Yeah, for sure. Next, last minute addition, because the game kind of somewhat recently ended. Cooper Flagg is getting a winner of the week because of the amazing performance he had tonight. The we talked about how the Hornets beat the Mavs today, which is true, but Cooper Flagg won the rookie battle today. Even though him and Kon Knueppel both killed it, Flagg just did his thing and had such an amazing game. Like Kon Knueppel, great stats, 34 points, 8 3-pointers made too. This guy might go down as one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. We'll see. But the way he's doing now as a rookie is incredible. And then, but like with that said, Cooper Flagg, 49 points, 20 of 29 from the field, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and I believe, he also hit some huge clutch buckets towards the end of the game. And yeah, Cooper Flagg just broke the NBA record for the youngest player to ever score 45 plus points in an NBA game. So I feel like it is still somewhat of a tight race today, in regards to like the rookie of the year competition. It's a tight race between him and Kon Knueppel. I feel like those are the top two. But Cooper Flagg is definitely taking the lead. If you didn't think he was before this game, he for sure has to be in the lead after what he did today. Like, crazy efficient, nearly 50 points as a rookie, and definitely more well rounded than Kon Knueppel. Obviously they're both rookies; they still have a lot to improve on, but I believe Flagg is a bit more polished. So yeah, Cooper Flagg definitely deserves uh, a, to be in the W list, and honestly, like, I feel like both rookies at least deserves a shout out for putting on a show. They knew that you know everybody's gonna be eyeing them because it's the rookie battle, it's the battle of the former teammates, and they did put on a show. So shout out to them.
Yeah, I would say absolutely. The two rookies put on an absolute show this game. Hornets and the Mavs was a very good and competitive game. Flagg taking the better end of the battle, even though Khan had a very great game as well. Obviously, Flagg was 49, Knueppel was 34, and yeah, they're clearly the 1A, 1B in the MVP. I mean, the Rookie of the Year race. Um, but I feel like Flagg probably has the lead in the moment. But I will say, Flagg obviously we all know had like a slow start to the season, so we'll see how much that might like go into effect when it comes to voting. But recently he's been turning it on and looking more like the number one pick we expected. So yeah, this was a really good, fun game. I didn't get to watch it. Unfortunately, that would have been a fun game to watch. But just from like seeing the stats, um, box scores, all that. I mean, box score watcher isn't necessarily a good thing because a lot of people do that. And so they don't know this player's actual effect on the game if it's not showing in the box score. But yeah, this is one of the incidents where like even if you don't and you look at the box score, it does it a lot of justice. So yeah, clearly the two rookies put on a show here. And on that note, both Cooper Flagg and Kon Knueppel deserve to be on the W list for this one.
For sure. And you know what? Like, I started this, I guess, a couple weeks ago, the stat line of the week, and I had my answer, but I'm changing it and adding Cooper Flagg in the mix. He'll be my winner for this week of stat line of the week with the 49 points, crazy efficiency, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. He'll take my stat line of the week, but I'll name my nominees, my honorable mentions, and we could pick like a number two together if you want. I had Luka Doncic in here with his 46-point performance, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, 8 threes, during a win over the Bulls. Alex Sarr, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 6 blocks. Over the Blazers, they beat the Blazers. Donovan Mitchell, 45 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 3-pointers made, 60% from the field. Cavs win over the Magic. And then Joel Embiid is like back, dude. Like, he has been looking amazing. Probably deserved a W as well for this week. 38 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, 61.9% from the field. Unfortunately, he did lose against the Knicks. So, yeah, out of those guys, unless you don't agree with, like, me picking Cooper, like, do you think one of those guys deserve to be, the winner of stat line of the week? Or do you agree with me and you have, like, a second favorite? Like, uh, who are you eyeing at?
I think it's hard to disagree that Coop won it because, for one, he put up the most points out of all these players. But for two, 20 out of 29, pretty efficient. 10 rebounds, also pretty good. And yeah, I think that Coop is easily the winner of the week. But if you were to ask me who I think should be the second best, that would be the guy that was technically traded for the Mavs to be able to land Cooper Flag, and that would be Luka Doncic. I think his was the second best performance here
I agree.
because 46 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, 8 3-pointers, pretty damn impressive. More importantly, did it in a win. So yeah, I think Luka is number 2 here, and Coop was number 1 here. Might be the only time that Coop would actually overtake Luka in the thing because clearly the Mavs are still dumb for making that trade. But yeah, I would say Flag 1 and Luka 2 for here.
Yeah, I agree for sure. So that is all the winners, the all like the teams and players that belong in the W list. Now let's be a bit negative and go over the L list. We don't have a lot, so hopefully this will go by quick. And we are gonna start off with the Bucks. If you're a Bucks fan right now, I wouldn't blame you if you know start crying or switch teams because man, it's been a rough week.
Yeah, man, very rough. Um, so the first off, if we're talking about actual basketball games that are being played, the Bucks are currently on a 4-game losing streak, losing games to the Thunder, Nuggets, Sixers, and the Wizards. Mostly good teams and a trash team. But in the process of doing all this, they have dropped to now the 12th seed in the Eastern Conference. Um, yeah. And to add insult to injury, Giannis has made his trade request official this week. Um, and so there's a lot of this is where it's time for the rumors. And obviously, we've heard a lot of them. There's rumors that some teams that Giannis would like to go to would include the 76ers, Timberwolves, Heat, Knicks, and Raptors. Um, seems like I don't know if he necessarily has like a number one destination, but maybe the Heat seemed like he really wanted to go to. But yeah, safe to say, it looks like it's probably the end of an era, unfortunately for Milwaukee. But bigger unfortunate part is that the damn shame that the Bucks didn't surround him was the help he needed, and that he has to potentially finish the era here in a very sad way that shouldn't have been the case. Um, but yeah, that's basically my take on the Bucks and their super disappointing week and overall season alone. Um, what are some things that you would like to add on in regards to the Bucks disappointing um, whole scenario?
Yeah, this is for sure disappointing. You know, we both like the Bucks and Giannis. Obviously, we've talked about that in the past. So, part of me feels like it's still not gonna actually happen. At least during this trade deadline, I really don't think he will be traded. I don't have a good reason for that, but I think it's gonna be dealt with during the summer. I don't think it's gonna happen right now. I feel like I don't know the teams aren't ready for that, but you know nobody was ready for the Luka trade last year, so we'll
Yeah,
see what
exactly.
happens. But yeah, I will say I don't think the Bucks you know handled the situation completely horribly, if that makes sense. Like they tried, they tried. They saw that like uh, Drew Holiday was kind of inconsistent offensively. He's getting older. Let's get a point guard that can definitely stretch the floor and be the best scorer Giannis has ever played with Damian Lillard. So they went out to get Damian Lillard, but that ended up not working out. So they got rid of Damian Lillard. They ended up trading away Chris Middleton because he's always injured and uh, not consistent for a younger player that is unfortunately just as inconsistent, Kyle Kuzma. so that ended up not working out. Uh, they, I, I believe, let go Brooke Lopez this past summer. He's getting old. They were hoping young Miles Turner will, be a good replacement. That hasn't really been working out, and they got rid of Damian Lillard in order to get that situation. So basically, what I'm saying, they've tried. You know, the moves they made weren't successful at all, but I feel like they did give it a go. They did try their best to make Giannis happy. For fuck's sake, they have his brothers that are complete bums in the lineup. They're trying to make him happy, make him stay, but clearly, you know, both parties, both the Bucks and Giannis need a fresh start. So I feel like this is a respectable like breakup, I guess. Like I don't feel like anybody is to blame for all of this. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah, and absolutely disappointing to see it, but I think that you do make a fair point that like the Bucks seemingly tried to give him the help. They just poorly executed it, unfortunately. Um, yeah, that's definitely a damn shame. Um, and I would say that I agree with you. I would expect the trade to be done in the off season and not at the trade deadline. But after like seeing the Luca trade last year, you just never know at this point. Um, so I guess that leads us to the question: what team do you think he will be traded to? I think that's obviously like a hard question.
It is a hard
But
question.
I'm low key thinking maybe the Heat. Um, I'm thinking maybe the Heat, honestly.
Yeah, I just don't know like the money situation well enough for every team,
That I don't
like the
either.
contracts, in order to figure out which trades can work. I
Yeah,
know in the past, Giannis has talked about how more forward players should play for bigger markets. So
he did. Yeah,
like so the Knicks obviously being like the
Knicks. Yeah,
biggest market, probably debatably. I think
yeah,
it was reported that they are like the what is it called, like the most valuable NBA franchise. Um,
yeah. They are.
so
Um,
like a cat related trade to send Giannis over there could be a possibility.
yeah,
There would need to be picks involved, obviously, because they don't want like cat. Even though cat is good, but like they would rather have young talent, right? And that's not
yeah.
something that the Knicks have. So yeah, it's
Right.
hard to say what will happen, especially since I don't really know the contract situations for each team.
Yeah,
But yeah, we'll see. I guess. Um,
definitely.
my like concern right now is that nothing's gonna happen at all this trade deadline. Yeah, last year was
Yeah,
like the greatest
it,
trade deadline of all time, and this year
it
has
really
been
was up there.
dead.
Yeah,
Uh,
it might be like nothing or like only role players,
Only the Trey
which is
Young
so
trade basically,
yeah,
and he's like injured, so we can't even like see him on the new team.
exactly. So like, what's the fun in that? We have to wait until probably next year to see him in the New Jersey. Uh, it's rough. But anyways, I mentioned where do we think Giannis is going to get traded to? How about where would you like him to be traded to?
Now that's a good
Um,
question.
yeah,
That's something that's not gonna
and
happen because this team said that they're not gonna go for it. Something that would be interesting is him going to the Spurs and him
mm,
teaming up with Wemby.
that would be
Nobody
very interesting.
nobody's scoring in the paint at all,
No
like
one, like
against the
literally.
Spurs. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think just recently they said that they're not gonna touch what they have at the moment. Right now, it's been good.
yeah,
They're not gonna go
and
for
that makes sense.
Giannis. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna look at the list of teams right now that he kind of mentioned he was a go to. But what about you? What do you think?
Um, low key, I think if he got traded to the Timberwolves, him and Ant would make a pretty cool duo.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's true. Uh,
yeah.
I was thinking once again the Knicks, Jalen Brunson and well, that's actually gonna be a lot like the Dame and Giannis situation.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Not thinking about it.
I was
Uh,
gonna say I was gonna say Knicks as another one that I would like to see. But you do make a good point that it might be like a Dame situation, but hopefully chemistry better. The thing is, like with Dame, they were still winning games. It's just that in the playoffs, Giannis gets hurt or something, and
yeah,
they lose in the first round.
he
So I think
might.
it really depends on like how healthy the team is.
Yeah, he might honestly be a better fit on the Timberwolves. Like, assuming that
He might, yeah,
Randall gets traded, right? Then, you know, the Timberwolves have a defensive big man. He clogs the paint though. That's the issue. Like I was gonna compare him with
yeah,
Brooke Lopez, but Brooke Lopez could shoot threes. They don't
true,
call him Splash Mountain for nothing, right?
yeah,
And but like on the Ant side, like Ant knows how to play with a big man that's ball dominant because he's been playing with Julius Randle. So I feel like those two could fit. Just the paint might be clogged up
yeah.
due
I
to
mean,
Rudy being there as well.
I feel like maybe the Timberwolves had to give up Rudy to get Giannis, which
Nate,
honestly might not even be bad.
like they do
It's
have
good.
Nas Reed, that
Yeah,
could
you get rid of a paint clogger that way. So
Nas Reed could shoot a bit, for sure, a lot better than uh,
a lot
Gobert.
better.
Not just a bit,
Yeah.
for sure, a lot better.
Yeah. That'll
Um,
be one less paint clogger.
yeah, like he's so
Yeah.
important to the defense, and although
True.
Giannis is great, he's not as great as Gobert, which is a little crazy to say. Well, I guess not too crazy,
That
but
is crazy.
it's crazy giving Gobert
I
flowers
think
over Giannis. That's the
I
crazy
know.
part for me. But
Yeah.
that's like his thing though. He plays great defense and he's still a better defender than Giannis. Uh,
Yeah. I know. Um I will say low key, I think that the Raptors could be an interesting one too.
it,
Like him with Scotty Barnes on one team. Um, I don't remember if they said about like Brandon Ingram, they for sure would not want to trade. I know they said they don't want to trade Scotty or like BI period, but I don't know if it was a Giannis trade, if maybe they would make an exception for Ingram, maybe. Scotty, I'm sure for sure no off limits.
no,
I feel like if it's for Giannis, though, Ingram would be someone that should be definitely considered if had to. But yeah, we'll see how they will try to handle that.
yeah, I feel like that'd be a weird fit. So like obviously
Maybe,
it's
yeah,
Giannis. Like you gotta at least try. But that team needs a center more than
they do.
anything, and Giannis doesn't play center.
Yeah,
He's like strictly just a power forward.
yeah. Or low
Point
key,
forward.
I was low key thinking, what if they did like a three-team trade? Like,
Mhm.
okay, I don't know how the cap works, but let's say for example, send Giannis to send Giannis to the Knicks, send Cat to the Raptors since Raptors need a center, and then Bucks just get like a bunch of draft picks, for example, and rebuild from scratch. That's just a
Okay,
like wild three-team trade I just barely came up with, but low key that might be a win for everyone. I think.
maybe. I feel like the Raptors would have liked more of a defensive center, but
Yeah,
like
probably.
Scotty Barnes is so good at defense.
That's
Like
true.
he'll be able to help out Cat with his like inability to play defense, but at the same time, I feel like he needs more defenders to help him out as well. It can't just be Scotty Barnes playing defense. Uh,
That's true.
but
Makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
So safe to say, it's very tricky
It is so
trying to
tricky
predict like where Giannis will end up. For
if
the
he
sake of
even
it,
ends up moving.
Yeah. I just very much pray he does not go to a team that we do not like.
Yeah.
Because I would hate to have to root against Giannis, man. Man, imagine if he got traded to like the Warriors, for example. That would suck.
Imagine he gets traded to the Lakers for DeAndre Ayton and Gabe Vincent. Anything's
Oh man,
possible.
yeah, anything's possible. Yeah, that would be fun. Imagine. You want me to tell you something very crazy? Is that like I seen a person say that they would not want Giannis on the Lakers for some reason, thinking that he would like make the Lakers worse.
He will
And
for sure help the Lakers. Like I
yeah, exactly.
I am not scared of like turning down big name players to join the Lakers if it doesn't fit, but I think Giannis would fit and would
Yeah.
help like the defensive end. Um I guess the ball handling duties could be an issue because we have Luca and Austin Reeves and LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way we're. I guess Austin Reeves would be the one being shipped out. Not gonna lie.
He
So
probably would have to be if we were to
yeah,
somehow get.
so we would have Luca and LeBron until the end of the season, I guess, and then Giannis
Yeah,
all having to share a ball. So that
true.
could be an issue.
It could be challenging. We'll see what happens
But
though.
imagine the amount of alley oops Luca to
Oh
Giannis or
man,
LeBron to
that would be
Giannis. That'd be fun to watch.
that would be so fun to watch. I mean, like obviously you hope that it equates to wins, but like just watching those three playing basketball together would be like very fun for sure.
Hmm.
Definitely. But yeah, I think that would be a good wrap on the Bucks and Giannis situation.
Yeah, we talked about
Shall
them
we?
for a long ass time.
Yeah. Granted, Giannis is very much a big deal, so
Yeah, yeah,
makes sense. But yeah, I think we can now move on to the next team on the L list, being the team that is supposedly the best team in the league, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They had a pretty rough week. Only went 1-3 in their last four games. Losses to the Pacers, Raptors, and the Timberwolves. By far, the Pacers game was the worst. I mean, at that time, Thunder had the best record, Pacers had the worst record, and the Thunder lost that game at home. So, technically speaking, best team lost the worst team. Not ever good. Though personally, I don't necessarily think that the Pacers are actually the worst team in the league. They just happen to have the fewest wins at that time. Um, the other two games were both obviously against good teams. Raptors have been playing really well lately. Timberwolves have been kind of on and off, but then again, they did play on the road, so not necessarily like horrible per se. But yeah, Thunder for their standards, 1-3 in the last four games is not a good record. Even then, their record is still ridiculous. They only have like 10 losses or something, so they're clearly going to be fine. But yeah, this past week, they have been looking more than vulnerable.
yeah. So look, they're gonna be great when it comes to the playoffs and stuff. Um, we just had to throw them in there because it is interesting seeing the fact that they lost three of their last four games. You know, this is the best team in the league. At one point, we thought they would break the Warriors' regular season record earlier this season. That obviously came to a close. I think this week actually, like officially
Yeah,
came to a close. So that's not gonna happen. But they're for sure gonna be great in the playoffs. Make a deep run. I'm still gonna say Nuggets will win the chip. You know, I've been saying that since before the season, so I'm gonna stick to it. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they win back to back.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think there's a good chance Nuggets can. I mean, like, they have a lot of time to get right. Obviously, Joker's still recovering from injury. news came out that Aaron Gordon is going to be out for a while now due to his injury. But once again, good news is playoffs is still 2.5 months away, so plenty of time to get right. So yeah, it will definitely be interesting going down the stretch to see whether OKC wins again or a new team wins. Shall be fun. Um, but I think we can now move on to one last thing on our L list, and that would be the NBA as a whole for their All Star Weekend Snooze Fest. So, to start, the dunk contest, so far, two contestants have accepted, that being San Antonio Spurs rookie Carter Bryant
Who?
and Jackson Hayes, out of all people. I mean, I was so confused when I saw Jackson Hayes in the dunk contest. Now, like, sure, it's cool that he's on Lakers and he's going to dunk contest, but like, there's I've never seen Jackson Hayes like do like a crazy impressive dunk. I mean, the main thing I see from him is like alley oop lob or under the paint, but like regular slamming. I've never seen him do no look like windmills or like trick dunks, none of that. So I
Uh,
was just like straight up confused when I saw him selected.
Looks like you weren't paying attention this week because there was a clip going viral of him on the fast break. Did like a between the legs dunk. That was pretty cool. So I thought it was actually interesting timing how he did that dunk and then days later, uh, it was announced that he was gonna be in the dunk contest. I will say like the lack of
Mm,
stars as usual is very disappointing. Like we got Jackson Hayes as the highlight at the moment for the dunk contest. Like
mm.
that's the big name. That's kind of crazy. It's him and Carter Bryant who like again who's that? Who's Carter Bryant, right?
Yeah,
Uh
I don't know.
so
It's like it's like as if someone tried combining Vince Carter and Kobe into like one name,
yeah.
Carter Bryant. That's funny. But yeah, honestly, you're not wrong. I did not pay attention. I did not see that play. And so I didn't know that like Jackson Hayes is really known for like any out of the ordinary dunks, really. I just thought of him as a regular big man putting ordinary dunks up. So that's interesting that he got selected out of all people. Um, but as we all know, a lot of we known in the past, a lot of players just for that whatever reason just do not seem to be interested in participating. um, Mac McClung, obviously three-peat champion, the last 3 years put on a show with all his great dunks, dating back to his high school mixtapes of crazy dunks. He rejected the invite and decided not to go for the four-peat. And another player that many fans were advocating for to go in the dunk contest was VJ Edgecombe, but he also declined the invite. Well, I don't know if he was actually invited per se officially, but in an interview, I believe a reporter asked him, "Would you go in the dunk contest?" And he said, "I'm good, actually." So, yeah, the candidates are limited. So far, two players have accepted. We shall see who else chooses to attend, but not necessarily expecting much, unfortunately.
Yeah, you could never expect much from the dunk contest, honestly. Like
Back in the day, for
back
sure. Recently, oh no.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
the names are dwindling, not even to like decent role players, but now like just random bench warmers. We had a G leaguer that was running the show for the last 3 years.
I, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. As great of a dunk contest contestant as Mac McClung is, I think that it's actually embarrassing that the NBA has to ask for a G leaguer to practically save the event. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to knock Mac McClung because he is a great dunker. He put on a great show, and quite honestly, probably deserves to be on the NBA team for that alone. But the fact that they had to go for G League player to go in their contest is definitely saying so.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
and although
but
like going back like maybe like 10 years ago or something like that, like although they
yeah,
were role players, at least Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, when they were battling out, they knew
oh
how
yeah,
to, perform like a good show. These guys cannot. Like I can't even remember a Mac McClung dunk, and he won three goddamn dunk contests in a row. So yes, dude, I I might join you. I might not watch All Star Weekend this year because like
yeah. Honestly, I feel like it's practically a waste of time at this point. Like watching a bunch of grown men mess around on the court. I feel like it would be more entertaining watching like hoopers in the park, low key.
dude,
And
honestly,
that's
yeah.
sad. It's saying a lot. Because like let's be real, at least those hoopers in the park are gonna try to win and play seriously. As opposed to like a bunch of grown pros that are just messing around and not even trying. Like, come on, man. That's embarrassing. But continuing on the NBA All-Star Weekend Snooze Fest, um, honestly, I don't really like the new format that's announced, the USA versus World format. I mean, like the concept sounds interesting. Basically, as we briefly mentioned before, two US teams and one international world team will be playing a round robin tournament of 4 12-minute games. The concept seems cool. I feel like they're doing too much, honestly. But honestly, what I was thinking was if they're gonna have two US teams, maybe also do two world teams also, as opposed to like two versus one. Maybe do like 2-2 so it's balanced. I think could have been like a cool idea. I don't know if it's because they don't think that they have enough international players
I think that's the
or
issue.
what. But like, do they really? Is it actually true that there's that many more like actual U.S. born players that are all stars? Because I honestly thought there were a lot of international players.
Well, we like went through it last week,
Yeah, we did
and
briefly.
like
Like that's another thing. Like we don't know the criteria of how they select. Like, do they have to be born in the U.S. or like
that's
grew up
that's also
or
another
play for the
issue.
international team? I just don't know. So like, I feel like they're just overly complicating things, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like making two teams wouldn't be a good idea just because then like people that don't deserve to be an all-star will be an all-star just because they're foreign, uh
Yeah.
like they'll end up throwing in like Alex Sarr as an all-star because he's French and has decent stats on a shitty team, uh
Yeah.
and they need like another guy. So uh like that would be insane if he becomes an all-star just because we need an
Yeah.
eighth, or not an eighth, a
Or
16th, all
maybe
foreign player. Well, like they would need 16
uh,
foreign all-star caliber players, and I don't know if there are 16 all-star caliber players if we're making.
you do make a point because if that were the case, then there may be a chance your favorite player, the zebra man from Portland, would get
I was trying to
any
avoid him. I
happier.
was trying to avoid him this episode, but yeah, that would mean that Denny would be an all star. That would mean probably Alex Sarr, uh, Rudy Gobert, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be
Honestly,
weird and undeserving for some
yeah,
of the
I agree.
guys, for sure.
Honestly, yeah. Point blank is I feel like they should have just stuck to like East versus West, honestly, as opposed to try hard USA versus World.
Yeah, again, I'm rooting for Wemby attempting to change the culture.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll have a ripple effect. Like maybe he does such an amazing job of getting the foreign players to try that maybe we'll go back to East versus West, and with but just with a better mentality. But it's gonna be hard for Wemby because he has Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic on his team. Two of the best, two of the top three players on the planet right now, but they do not care about the All Star game at all. They just treat it like a joke, honestly. And sometimes it's funny, like that one year where they literally were just passing it back and forth, not even dribbling, just passing it back and forth like that, to like give like Shea an easy basket like under the rim. Like they have cute like funny moments, but like if I want cute funny moments, I would go to a Harlem Globetrotters game. You know, like I want to see them
Exactly.
compete,
Good point.
and they don't compete. They don't care. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah, honestly, um, All Star Weekend has practically been going downhill more and more. Um, how are they going to fix it? I couldn't answer that question because I don't know.
it's fucked. Like there's no fixing this.
Yeah,
Like I've been a believer for so long, but I don't
yeah,
believe anymore.
bro. And like similar to like the dunk contest, All Star Weekend in general, like back in the day, like elementary school and middle school, I would actually look forward to All Star Weekend
Same.
for like everything, like rookies versus sophomore, all of Saturday festivities, and the All Star game too. Now, like none of them really entertain. Low key, maybe the celebrity game might be the highlight. And like even that, like I'm not even that interested in to be real.
You're not
But like,
interested in Shams hooping it up this year?
hmm, that might be that might be worth a watch, low key. Yeah, I definitely laughed when I saw that headline.
I laughed at looking at the Photoshop edit. He looked so tiny. He looked like a child with the jersey on.
Yeah. And then when I think like ESPN Studio literally interviewed him, he's like, Shams, you're gonna be in the celebrity game this year. And like basically interviewing him like as if he was like some famous person. That was hilarious.
He technically is kind of famous.
I mean, yeah, he is famous for like the NBA report, but like basically interviewing him like as if he's like a superstar in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, I think that would be a good amount of rant on All Star Weekend. Disappointing per usual. Um, I guess one last thing for before the episode is officially done, more so like on regular NBA news as opposed to like W and L. So the L list, W list is practically being done. Small piece of news we wanted to cover was earlier this week, it was announced that Dalton Connect had officially made a trade request. Um, and it's really no surprise. I mean, he just hasn't necessarily been used much. This year, he has not been the same player. He really hasn't been the same player ever since that canceled Mark Williams trade. I mean, he was good for like the first month after the trade, I believe. I remember in March last year, Dalton was playing pretty solid, but like come playoff time to this year, practically unplayable. And unfortunately, with his trade request coming, his value is as low as can be. Um, if he would have been like on the trade block a year ago, he would have been a super valuable trade chip because he was having like a very good start to his rookie year and could have been like in the running of one of the like potential arguable guys of like rookie of the year argument early on. Not saying he would have won rookie of the year, but like he could have been like one maybe like top 5 odds. Unfortunately now I do not know what we could get for him. I think that the hope was if the Lakers are trying to trade for like an impact player, put him in as like a potential side piece. If you're gonna try to trade Dalton Connect by himself, honestly, good luck getting anything valuable because probably it's just not gonna happen realistically. It's sad, but yeah. basically, that would be the small little NBA news.
Yeah, like I was the one that put this in here in the notes, and obviously we're Lakers fans, so I was very interested in this news because not only was it, like a little shocking, but I understood why he would ask for a trade. He wasn't being utilized anymore in the lineup. I mean, like it feels like Bronny gets more uh, time than he does. So I think he not only wants a fresh start, but I feel like he kind of deserves a fresh start as well. Um, because he is talented. Now, he's not a great defender. I think that and the fact that we have a lot of wings are the reason why he doesn't get a lot of playing time. But uh, yeah, I feel like put in the right, you know, team, he'll will find some success and be a valuable role player, a valuable 3 point shooter. So honestly, I'm rooting for the best for him. On the Lakers side, though, like he would obviously we can't get much from him, like a single trade because his trade value is down, and rookie contract. Obviously, like we're not gonna be able to get a Giannis if we're just swapping him for Giannis. That's not gonna work money wise. But if we were to trade for Giannis, he would be a good player to throw in there. Someone young who has a lot of potential, who has proven to be or proven to have great 3 point shooting moments. Um, so yeah, like when you were talking, I was thinking about just trading all the white players from the Lakers, playing except for Luca. So throwing in Austin Reeves, Jake and Dalton for Giannis. Maybe the money works that way. I don't know, but for some reason that was like one of the first thoughts I came across when you were talking about the Dalton Connect trade request. But
That'd be so fun.
that's like a situation that would need to happen. He would have to be part of a bigger deal, and the incentive would be that he is young and has some kind of value on the 3 point end. So yeah, we'll see if he gets traded, but I will be like paying attention to him whether he is a Laker or not because I do like the kid. He's uh young, he's talented, so we'll see what happens with him and his career.
Yeah, we shall see indeed. And yeah, to say the least, I would say it's just unfortunate that things were not able to work out with him. Such a promising start that unfortunately fell out of the rotation and lost his confidence, honestly, also played a factor. But yeah, honestly, I don't have any ill will against him either. So as long as he doesn't go to a team that I don't like, I'll stay rooting for him. I mean, even if he goes on a team I don't like I'll still root for his individual success, but I'll root for the team's non-success.
I don't know if I'll
But
be the same way. If he becomes a Celtic, fuck Dalton Connect. I don't want to see him
yeah,
anywhere.
um, if we're being real though, if he got traded to like the Celtics, he probably wouldn't really get much playing time either. Low-key.
No, that was
I feel like
just
real,
a team
yeah,
that I don't
true.
like. That
Yeah, true. Or like if he was on the Clippers, I don't know.
no, the Clippers like old
Yeah,
people, so he doesn't have to worry about
yeah.
it.
So that wouldn't happen.
Yeah,
I feel like realistically speaking, maybe he gets traded to like a bad team and have more opportunity, like the Nets, for example.
yeah, he would
Yeah,
find individual success in a bad
true.
team. Um,
Yeah,
okay, so that's basically it. We do need to update you guys on the wager for this month as we stated earlier this month. We are doing a wager every month where we pick a team every week and we pick a winner for that team, and whoever chooses the correct winner you know gets a point, and we're basically just seeing who has the best record by the end of the month. And I just got my first win. So it's not over, ladies and gentlemen. It's not over. Hoops is still winning with a 2-1 record. We are going to see if I can tie things up next week, with the next game being on Tuesday. I forgot the date. February 3rd. Tuesday, February 3rd. The day before your birthday. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
uh, we're definitely gonna have fun celebrating soon. And we'll talk about your birthday next week. But yeah, on February 3rd, we chose Pistons versus Nuggets. I chose the Nuggets because I kind of been glazing them this season, so I feel like I have to stick with them. I really didn't put much thought into the matchup, but I did choose Nuggets, even though it is at Detroit. Why did you choose the Pistons?
I feel like the Pistons have been the more consistent team as of late. Obviously, Pistons are still like a very up and down team. Like they look really great for stretches, and then they'll lose a bunch of games they don't think they should really be losing. But overall, I think that the game being played in Detroit definitely was one factor that I picked them. And another one is like the Nuggets still dealing with some injury problems is a little bit like unpredictable there. But overall, I feel like obviously clearly the Nuggets are still a very good team. It's a game that they're capable of winning. And Pistons being very inconsistent is a game that they could find themselves losing as well. So am I very confident about this pick? I don't know about very confident, but I would say those would just be some factors why I picked the Pistons in this one.
All right, we'll see who ends up winning it. And if I end up losing, then the week after, I would have to do the punishment, which is record an entire episode in basically snow gear. We don't have snow in California, but I'll wear like a big jacket. I have a Lakers scarf I could wear, a beanie, and I'm guessing I'll be just very sweaty that episode because we're I don't know about the week after, but next week it's gonna be hot. It's a lot of the days are gonna be in the 80s, so I guess it's
Yeah.
not very hot. But you don't want to wear a giant jacket in like 80-degree weather. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, we'll see if it ends up being hot. Then it'll be even worse for me if I end up losing. But I still got a chance. So come on, Nuggets, give me a fighter's chance, please. It'll be interesting seeing a tiebreaker.
Yeah. All we gotta say is we're pretty fortunate here that this wager is not done during the summer. Because could you imagine like thickest winter outfit in 90-degree or 100-degree weather? Oh my goodness.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that would be torturous. But yeah, as you say, wager is still not done yet. Round of applause to Memo for finally getting a win head to head
Thank
here.
you,
I
thank you.
mean, not like head to head as in like the full on wager, but like getting one of the picks right. So yeah.
Finally,
Yep. Um, and we'll say this was kind of somewhat in a way like the opposite of the Spurs Rockets game last week, because last week the Spurs had a really big lead and they choked and the Rockets came back and beat them. This time I think the Rockets had a bit of a lead, and but then they choked and the Spurs took over and won. Though slight difference is that the Spurs had a big lead in the third quarter and they choked in the fourth, versus the Rockets really were just leading big in the first half and they just did nothing in the entire second half. So which one was more embarrassing? Probably the Spurs in the first one, but nonetheless, both of them choke leads. So I guess you can say because of the two teams choking in each, we are completely even there now. So the the month of January wager for the picks currently is Hoops 2, Memo 1. The next game is, safe to say, a huge deal. Because if Memo gets that one, then we will have a do or die tiebreaker. If I get that one, then that means the wager is set. So it shall be very interesting to see how that Nuggets Pistons game goes for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. Tune in next week so you know the results. But yeah, I think this is a good place to end things off. So thank you all for watching. If you are on YouTube and you like the video, make sure you like it. Leave a comment down below. That'd be great. Subscribe, even that would be wonderful. If you are on an audio platform like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star rating and review. Check out our socials. Hoops, is there anything you want to say before we head out?
Yeah, pretty much just mirroring Memo's words. Thank you guys for the support to our channel. We greatly appreciate it. If you guys like our content, make sure to follow us on all platforms: YouTube, Spotify, you name it, TikTok. Um, yeah, as mentioned, the wager is coming to an end, so you definitely want to see how this game goes, and definitely the following episode for or the following after, depending on what happens next week. For whoever that loses has to pay to bet. Those are always fun to watch. But yeah, stay on the lookout for that. Stay on the lookout for our special edition episodes as the season goes by as well. You don't want to miss it. Um, but yeah, until then, have a great day, week, and so forth. Catch you guys on the next one.
We'll see you all next week. Goodbye.